Hi everybody, Steve Griffiths here, developer of the MTPredictor software program. In today's MTPredictor video, I'd like to have a look at other time frames on the USE minis rather than just the 3 minutes. So I'd like to look at some 5-minute charts on the NQ today as well. But before we look at those, as usual, we have to go through our risk disclaimer and remind you that all examples in these videos should be considered as hypothetical. No trades are actually taken. They're just shown for illustration and training purposes only. Also remind you there's a risk of loss in trading and investing, or put another way, all professional traders know and understand, but more importantly accept that losses can and will and do unfold. It's all part of professional trading in that losses can and will and do unfold. The trick is keeping the losses small. Right, let's have a look at the NQ yesterday, which seemed to have the clearest picture. Just to remind you all that we don't look to use MTPredictor as a black box system where we blindly follow all the trade setups without any looking at the higher time frame. This is because markets go in cycles. Sometimes the picture's clear, like we'll see on the NQ in a minute. Sometimes the picture's not clear, like we see on the ES, where it was very unclear what the large degree picture was yesterday. Just take that off there. So how do we decide when the picture's clear? Well, for this, rather than just using our MTP trend color-coded indicator, which is red for down, black for in the process of changing, and blue for up, this gives a good initial indication of the large degree trend, but we really want to look to the higher time frame charts. For this, we go to a time frame between 3 and 5 time frames higher. So if you're looking at a 3-minute chart, this would mean going out to the 15-minute chart. If you're looking at, say, 15-minute Forex, it means going out to the hourly, or if you're looking at, say, daily stocks, that means going out to the weekly. So what are we looking for? Well, I'll just take that DP resistance off. What we're looking for is areas of support and resistance as indicated by our DP resistance zones. I'll just go back for a couple of days here and show you how we place these on the chart. We look for prior major swing pivots. As you can see, there was a major pivot high here. We right mouse click, we do decision point. This gives us an area of potential resistance in this case, but can you see how it's on the chart before the market even got there? So if I turn trading mode off, you can see what happened the previous day was the market went up and then made a high at that DP resistance and then started to decline off. So we're looking for markets that are making meaningful reversals at the support and resistance area. I mean, there was another one back here. I take the decision point off there. Can you see how that nailed the low there absolutely perfectly, off which this rally started? So this is what we're looking for. We're not looking for markets that are basically in an unclear pattern. We're looking for markets that make a good reversal. We then come down to the shorter time frame chart, and then ideally we're looking for, just reset the chart there. Ideally we're looking for a reversal in trend, and then we're looking to take trades in the direction of that new trend. So as you can see here, there's our 15-minute resistance. Now the high nicely, the market trend will be down. This is also confirmed by our MTP trend indicator. So we'll be looking for sell setups. So we'll be avoiding this TS4 buy, and then we're potentially taking this TS1 sell. There's also a buy there later in the day, and as noted by one of our history triangles, that we'll be avoiding because it's against a large degree downtrend. So if we take a look at this particular sell setup here, this one is one that didn't work out as anticipated. It's always important to look at trade setups that don't work out as anticipated. Just to remind you all of what I said in the risk disclaimer at the start, not all trades are profitable. There will be losses. This is part of a successful trading approach, is not avoiding the losses, because they always will be there, but keeping them small. And this is why I want to start this video here by looking at a losing trade. So this would have had you in short. The market did go past the 100% initial risk level, but there's no real reason to bring your stop to break even, so you may well have been stopped out here at a -1R loss. Remember, we use correct position sizing to vary the number of lots, contracts or shares to keep our initial risk under 2% of a sample $20,000 account. That would mean shorting 5 contracts to risk less than $400, so that would have been a $400 loss. The rest of the day, there weren't any other short setups, but this is why I wanted to do this video, just to remind you that in your scanner is to not only have your 3-minute, but also have your 5-minute charts as well. Because if I now go to the 5-minute chart, the picture was absolutely perfectly clear. Very, very nice picture. Whereas can you see here's our major resistance, here's the initial decline down, and just look where this stopped, because if I go back to the last pivot off the last swing into the high, remember we quite often use this, that's nailed that low absolutely perfectly. You can see there's only intermediate support there, so we would be anticipating a rally. But see how the rally unfolded. I'll just take that off so you don't get confused. The rally unfolded in a perfect ABC pattern, A, B, C. This was then found as a TS3 sell setup, which actually nailed the very bar of the high of the day yesterday, you can see. If I place the analysis on, this was a Holy Grail trade setup, where this was anticipated to be a wave 2, because we start the sequence at the higher time frame resistance. Remember, we use my unique isolation approach to Elliott wave, where we don't look to try and forecast where a market's going or use Elliott wave counts 100% of the time, because we know, as we said earlier, markets go in cycles and the pattern or the picture is only clear about half the time. So we start our sequence at a higher time frame support or resistance area where the market made a meaningful reversal, which it did here. Initial move down to be wave 1 and ABC into a wave 2. Therefore the initial target would have been down here at the typical wave 3 WPT for well, that would have been a lovely potential profit of 11 times the initial risk. The market basically ran out of time, so if I grab this and I take it up to where the close was, you can see at the close that would have been a nice 4.6R profit. If you had have come out at that first minimal target, that would have been almost 6R, but again there was no reason to do that unless you knew you were getting close to the end of the day and you maybe want to trail at the bar highs. But if you hadn't and kept it into the close, the profit would have been approximately 4.6R. So a very nice trade setup there. But can you see how the pattern or the picture is absolutely perfect? A very, very nice clear picture. This is what we want to do in trading. We don't want to try and take trades when the picture is unclear or messy. We're looking for times when the picture becomes absolutely perfect. In other words, it's like driving in fog. You're looking to only accelerate and drive fast when the fog clears and the picture's clear. But it's a good example also of how when we had a losing trade on the 3-minute chart, which we did here, remember that from earlier in the video, that loss would have been kept small at -1R. So one losing trade, but a 1R loss. But when we come to the 5-minute chart, this next trade here will be plus 4.6 or 4.5 times our profit. So 4.5 minus 1 will be plus 3.5 to the day for the day overall of the NQ. So this is what I wanted to remind you all in today's MTPredictor video, is remember we only look to do trades when the picture's clear, and also to remind you that when you're in your scanner to follow your 5-minute charts as well as your 3-minute charts, and when you get a nice clear picture like this, then look to take trades on those as well. And as you can see, this was a lovely example on the NQ yesterday where we had a nice TS3 Holy Grail sell that did actually catch the high or the very bar of the high of the day yesterday and got a nice short trade as the market declined for the rest of the day.